All right, joining us at NEC Blitz, this is Vaughn Williams. He is the athletic director for Bentley University over in Massachusetts, one of the 2024-25 NACDA 80s of the year. That means one of the best in the country. So thrilled to have you with us. Really excited for this one. Thank you so much, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, AJ. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So when we're focused on NEC here, but NE 10 we think of as kind of a sister conference from the same geographical area and a lot of the same schools. So don't want to bury the lead here on, one of the things that makes Bentley so special is just, volleyball, one of the two sports we really love to cover here, nearest and dearest to us. And, you've got really a dynasty level program here. It's back-to-back East Regional titles. There's a Final Four last season. And, is this something where you can leverage the success and the work that you have in this one really successful program, move it over to your other sports, football, basketball, across the board? Is this a similar process for building programs, or, do you kind of leave it to each individual coach to really do some great things for you?
Well, and thank you. It was a great year by our volleyball program and coach. Both of our coaches, Coach Joey Passis, and they did a great job, and company did a great job of just taking advantage of opportunities and really growing this thing. As you know, volleyball has been a long time very good at Bentley, and to have those breakthroughs over the course of the last 2 years, it is fun to watch, and fun to watch how he recruits and how he gets his teams ready, to get ready to play, and I think it was a major step forward. And I think we've had basketball success at that level, both on the women's side and obviously on the men's side as well. Those three programs in that type of tier that we believe that can compete nationally. And that was a goal a couple of years ago when I came here, just talking to all of our sport programs and seeing, how can we be the best version of ourselves, and seeing what's realistic, what's far-reaching, and I think we put some things in place that have allowed, the volleyball program to take steps forward and then reach, obviously, what they've done the last 2 years. And we hope there's going to be more of that in some of our other sports. As you can see, men's lacrosse going to the NCAA's 3 straight years. Women's lacrosse has been 2 out of the last 4 years. Women's soccer had only been in the NCAA one time prior to this in 2019. They're back. We believe there'll be a great program. Field hockey has done it. Should they get back to it? Softball, last 3 years, they're in the NCAA for the second, playing for a regional final game, and that regional final game in softball. And, you talk about baseball right there at the Cups, we believe, at a bid process, the most wins we've ever had last year, this year having the most wins. So I think it's, and then you got our golf programs, right? Men's golf, who we had individuals. We've been known to be in the NCAAs, so I think they'll be back. And women's golf, new sport last year, but I think now with some even more recruiting, I think we'll be right there. And I think this is about being the best version of ourselves, and that's what we try to do. So I think we are progressing in that direction, and it's fun to watch.
And it is definitely true. A rising tide here is lifting all the boats at Bentley, wherever that rising tide is coming from. This is really a program you look at in NE 10. It's a league that's seen some changes, but this is really a premier athletic department, and you've been recognized for that. You're one of the NACDA 80s of the year, like we said, and you've got Bentley to be a leader in Division II athletics. How do you keep them there? What's your vision?
Well, I think, I've inherited a great foundation of, Bob DeFelice, who is athletic director prior to me, who passed away this past fall, and Al Shields, and I'm only the third athletic director, and I think they did. I don't even think they did a great job of building this foundation of what Bentley is to be. How we gravitate to being the best we can in the classroom and community, those type of things, and those values of what we do about serving and people, and we saw much success to a certain degree, right? First national championship in field hockey, and then we had women's win a field hockey women's basketball win a national championship, and football has had its success in different ways. And so I think the spirit really is the coaches do an unbelievable job of recruiting unbelievable students that are student athletes. And I think what we tried to do is surround them around that support, the coaches around that support, and student athletes around that support of being the best version of yourself, but helping them in different ways. We've added a strength sports performance program. We have more athletic trainers. We have now a student development program that we've launched, a flight plan going into this year to make sure they're taking full advantage of what's offered, how to be leaders and all those type of things, but really how to be the best version of themselves and finding what they want to do. So I think they set the table, those two athletic directors, and we have a lot of great staff here and a lot of head coaches that built. And then, I've been very fortunate to hire some really good coaches on that scale. And obviously I haven't talked about our Division I side and men's ice hockey, what they did this past year. So it is definitely a time, the revival time, as I would say, of what we're trying to do in the swimmings and the tennises and the track and cross countries. They've all been very, very impactful to everything that's going on, and we try to do it together, right? Community of just trying to represent Bentley the best way. And what do I get? Yes, I get the accolade, but it's really the work has been done by all the staff, the coaches, and obviously the student athletes in this institution. So,
yeah, and I like that you're mentioning all the sports that Bentley does provide. When we're talking about a holistic student athlete experience,
yes.
Of course, football, basketball are going to get the press, and we're guilty of that too. But it really is about what you can do for the student athlete holistically across all the programs. And
right.
Bentley, of course, has a strong academic reputation. You have this proximity to Boston, 30 minutes away, really metropolitan. How does that enhance the student-athlete experience, the program growth? You have those two strengths.
Oh, yeah, I think, our recruiting, not everywhere, and our recruiting obviously regionally, but our recruiting nationally to what we can do, right? In our students, in the regular class, in our everyday classroom, and then what we do for student athletes. So we've seen so many student athletes and so many different that are attracted to Bentley because of Bentley's business acumen and what we do, what we do about getting jobs and all those things. And then, of course, that connectivity with the city of Boston makes it a really ideal location in regards to providing those experiences, providing those real-world internships and all those things that prepare our student athletes to do what they need to do. So it's been, it's an unbelievable combination when you can put the strength of what we do to get students ready and the strength of getting them prepared for the workforce, and then the strength of having a city like Boston that's just thriving, that they can work in and have the best of both worlds to do what they need to do. So there's no doubt in my mind. I was just with a student athlete, somebody that did their research. This happens all the time. Someone does their research, best business schools, best career service, all these different factors, best return on investment, all this stuff. And of course they go, and it's in Boston. And this person was coming from Denver. And 2 weeks ago I had somebody coming from California. They do the research, and then hopefully that matches up to what, that they can help us, in their endeavors. One was a swimmer, one was a baseball player that can help us in our endeavors to be the best version of ourselves on the athletic fields of play as well. So there's no doubt being in a Boston locale has helped us tremendously, and we got to take advantage of that, definitely.
Yeah, and the football program, we have to bring up, of course, we have Blitz in the title of our website. Strong NE10 reputation, 8-2, just coming off, and then played new NEC member, New Haven. We were so excited about New Haven. Played them close. One class ago in 2019, you beat two schools we're very familiar with, Stonehill, New Haven. So, I mean, obviously you're one of the premier programs in a fantastic athletic conference in football.
Mm-hmm.
So are there
Yeah.
strategies, investments in place to push it even further nationally now?
Well, I think I think we want to. We are one of those academic institutions in Division II for sure, and I'm really excited about Coach Scarpa taking the helm. Got a former alum in there. He's been with us a couple of years. He knows us. He's been there. He's done a great job of recruiting. Hired a great staff, and yes, every year I've been here, we have played for a championship in our conference, and I would extend. New Haven's no longer here, and this is a competitive conference. It's anybody's game, but I hope that we can, be one of those teams to beat, as we have over the last couple of years. And the conference continues to get better, and it is highly competitive, and we intend on being competitive this point moving forward. And I think, as you look at our schedule getting into next year, I think there's some things that we've not done yet that we want to do that have pressed the limits, and opportunities that present themselves. We're going to be playing Bryant. Their former conference foe, playing at the Division I level. We're going to be playing them in their new field this year. We're working on playing other, hopefully big-time schools, working to see if we can play at Grand Valley maybe in the future, or Ferris State, or some other schools in the PSAC, and those type of things that we want to do. So we're looking to try to see if we can play out of region and close to our region, and step up our game and challenge us to see if we can play with some of the best teams out there in Division II. So we're going to be looking into that. We're looking into it now, working on scheduling. I can't tell you how that the outcome is going to be until we sign contracts and all that, but we're looking to do a little bit more, so we can really, we want to be a force to reckon with in the Northeast, and that's kind of our goal overall as an athletic department. Be, a select choice overall, a comprehensive program that that is known in the Northeast. You want to go to Division II, you come here. That has a great Division I hockey program.
Yeah, and want to go ahead and throw the AHA, of course, with Bentley University, and in Northeast Massachusetts, hockey is a way of life. And
sure is, man, sure is.
There's former NE10 schools, quite a few former NE10 schools that have moved to Division I to the NEC. Is this ever something that you consider? You mentioned being the best version of yourselves. Is that part of it, or is that the D2 level for Bentley?
Yeah, it's the D2 level at Bentley. I think it is, and I feel it is. And, I think, we have this glimpse right now of some comprehensive success. We want to have that. We want to dominate. And I think at the D2 level right now, it's a good time to be in D2. I think you offer your student athlete different opportunities that they can play for, they can play for national championships, right? Not all of our teams, won their conference championship, right? And still they were able to be in the NCAA tournament. And, and I think that is a great experience for student athletes. So the access is important to us, and having it all in that standpoint. The more access I can give to our student athletes, not only you say, well, once every 4 years you want somebody to have a conference championship. Well, once every 4 years in many of our sports, I want them to be in an NCAA championship. And I think not everybody can say that, not at the Division I level. And so why not be the big fish and do the things and be the preeminent program that is very hard academically and that does well athletically on the field, and try to be the best of who we really are, not try to be anybody else. Try to be the best of who we are. And right now, this formula does work. And now that, hockey, is able to get to the NCAAs for the first time in our school history, at the Division I level, and see that. And I think there's more for us to see in hockey as well. So I think we got the best of both worlds, but I think the match is right now where we are at Division II, and we're loving it, and I'm definitely enjoying being at Division II as well.
Sure. And you do mention, you have this opportunity where you're doing great things for your student athletes. You're relevant nationally. This is definitely a place too where you mentioned that there's playing for NCAAs and playing in the NCAA playoffs. It sounds like there's really room. There's still things for Bentley to do at the D2 level. There's room to grow while remaining at your level.
Yes, I agree. I mean, it's like anything, sustainability. I think people, especially in our region, think about, the New England Patriots, right? And for 20 years, like that's hard to do. Like the excellence, the known to be that, right? It's hard to do, but that is our goal. We definitely want to be a better than a top 50 comprehensive Division II program in Division II. And that's a lot of schools. There's 300 some schools out there. So you can be in the top 50 to top 35. This year we were number 56. So if we can do that, and that's what we're going to do, I think it begs to different that, how do you sustain that? And that's going to be the trick of the trade, right? How do you sustain that? Obviously, got to have great coaches, right, to do that. Got to have great student athletes, recruit great student athletes that are about being in the classroom, being a student, and also, being the best they can do in competition. At the same time, getting that internship and getting prepared for their life and having great relationships and all those type of things. And so I feel like this formula right here at Bentley is dynamic, and there's so much to do. And how do we build a model? Not just to do what we did last year, but expand on that, and then how do we keep that, and how do we sustain that type of excellence? So I think that's going to be fun to do. I think that's a journey, of course, and a journey worth taking. So there's so much more to do. How do we get another national championship? That'd be great. Delphi in our league got a national championship. They won St. Aid, won in field hockey. I love to see Bentley get an opportunity to do that again. And so you can't say that winning is the most successful, that makes you the most successful thing. It only points out a moment in time, that type of team, those circumstances. But I do believe if we all work on being the best version of ourselves as people, as teammates, for this campus, that we'll see a lot of success in many, many ways moving forward.
I loved hearing about it. And, for the people listening in who are focused on the NEC, focused on Division I, just want to point out NE10 football is a very high level. You can catch it usually in Flow Sports. It is fantastic if you're looking for a little bit more of the Northeastern fix. They get from all over in Bentley, but obviously that tough New England style football players there. And, Mr. Williams, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Really fantastic stuff. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you this season.
Absolutely.